You are helping people that have cold sensitivity with a new technique.
Exactly. Well, that can be very, very painful. The healing takes a while, so I just don't do that anymore. It's not necessary. We can use a few teeth. One tooth, you can do teeth. And you can only do a few teeth because you can only cut so much gum out of the roof of the mouth. The sensitivity's not there. Do a few teeth, 32 teeth. One tooth, you can do teeth. And you can only do 32 teeth.
You are helping people.
It's great.
I'm not talking about myself, damn it. Dude, we're gonna go back. Hold on a second. Oh, that's a weird one, folks. And we're back. Great. Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for subscribing. This is Sensitive Teeth. It's going to be a short episode today, folks, because it's just me. It's just me out here, you might have noticed, but we're having a fun time. We got this skull here, just looming over me, you know, in this creepy dark space. I think maybe I'll put him back over here because it does make me feel a little weird, just him like hanging out like that, you know. I was thinking maybe he had a name, but it's probably better he's not talking back to me, you know what I mean? Hey. Oh my God. What was that? Oh boy. It's like you have all these things you want to talk about, and then when you're on the stand here, it's like, he did it. He did it for sure. You know, you just like spill your guts about it. But no. This is Sensitive Tooth. See, it doesn't work. It's not the format of the show. I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm just honestly, this episode is just out there to like keep that algorithm you know, consistency going there. You gotta post on the same date and time, try to anyway, so that's what this is. We're just gonna hang out. If you're really listening to this, that's so cool. Drop a comment about how bad this is. That would be fun to read, you know. Maybe write some hate mail and send it to teachers in high school that didn't believe in you. Maybe go to a fishing store and buy way too much bait and then try to return it the next day, you know, like live worms. Be like, these worms aren't live enough. And the guy's like, well, they're dead now. He's like, yeah, you sold me live bait. Look at them now. And the guy's like, well, it's been like a week. And you're like, well, it didn't say that when you sold it to me, you son of a bitch, you know? And then you get in a fist fight with the guy at the fishing store and you punch him in the head, but he's got like those fucking lures on his hat, so your hand gets stuck on his hat and you rip your hand open, there's blood spraying everywhere, and there's a kid there and he's crying, and you ruin fishing for him forever. Now him and his father can't bond enough because the kid doesn't want to go fishing anymore because you saw he beat up a guy in a fucking in a fishing store, you know? So it's the butterfly effect, man. It really is. You gotta be careful about that. I actually tried to watch that movie last night. I tried to rewatch the early 2000s Ashton Kutcher hit, The Butterfly Effect, and I gotta say, I didn't finish it. It's kind of cool, but it's also really overacted, and it's kind of cheap, but it's cool. It's cool, but it didn't, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is the movie couldn't beat 6 beers, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? The beers won. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fall asleep because this movie's not interesting enough to stay awake after 6 beers. You know what I mean? So that's how I rate everything in my life. Like, how many beers is that how many beers can I stay up through to make sure I don't miss this important event or not? You know what I mean? Like a sports game? Nah, I'm not gonna watch it all. I don't like sports so much. I mean, I appreciate sports, but I'm a skateboard man. Skateboarding's special. It's different. Skateboarding's different. You ever notice this? I mean, I'm also a little bit guilty of it, but not so much as the people I'm going to point at. But like, so sports fans, right? Baseball, basketball, football, right? Like they played probably when they're in high school, and that was probably the last they ever really played, right? Skateboarders tend to keep skateboarding throughout their lives, right? Like I'm 37. I still, I've been on a skateboard a few times in the past year, right? Which I think is more just than the average like dude at a bar watching a Yankees game can say, right? Did he play baseball, organize, and actually like participate in the sport? No, he didn't. He just watches it. He just watches dudes in tight uniforms play with balls, pass balls back to each other. Skateboarding is different, man. It's not even like a sport. It's more of a, I'm not going to say art form because that's gay as hell, but it's certainly creative. I don't know. It's just a way of of dealing with your surroundings, right? I mean, it's a way of kind of being a part of something bigger than you, almost in a physical sense, right? Like you have the city and as a character of its own, right? And it's big and it's loud and there's ledges and there's this hard permanent things. And if you can fucking tail slide this ledge, like you kind of have a piece of it, right? You kind of own it a little bit. Kind of the same thing in graffiti, right? Climb to the top of a building and spray, like fucking write your name on it. Like that's just the David versus Goliath sort of thing, right? Nah, that's not correct. It's more of like just trying to exist amongst these like giant efficacious things, or thing, if you think about the city as like its own breathing, sprawling, like sexy thing, you know? But who the hell thinks like that? Art, you know, I used to really love art. I still do, but man, nobody in art wants to talk about art. Nobody cares about art in the art world. They care about money and bullshit and what kind of shoes you're wearing and how gay can you really be. And art doesn't care if you're gay or straight. Art doesn't care. It doesn't care. But people care about that, and then the art suffers. So it's just like, ugh. Nobody wants to hear it, right? Art's been hijacked by the elite, and yet all the great art comes from the proletariat. So it's like, what are you going to do? You know? You know what we do? You stop making art because it's like a fuck you to the owners, to the controllers, right? Because they can't make art. They don't have the grit, the gumption. They haven't been through it. They haven't seen it. They haven't suffered, really. And maybe they have. I don't know. Maybe there's some really rich people out there that suffer so good or whatever, and I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Because I'm alone. I got nothing to bounce back, man. It's like playing guitar with no strings. I wish I could hear you guys through the screen right now. I'd say, hey, buddies, you know, hey there, friendo watching, cool. Also, check out Adventures with Ian, okay? If this is boring for you right now, pause your Spotify, give it a 5-star review first. Maybe not this episode, but another episode. You pause it. If you're on YouTube, you pause it. You just open up a new window. You go to YouTube. You go to Sensitive Tea Productions. You look at the videos there, and there's one called Adventures with Ian. And it's a fun time where me and a fellow ginger funny man, Kevin Doty, we go to see a demolition derby. And we eat some corn dogs, and we have some drinks, and it's a fun time. We look at some agricultural feats, animals and plants and things like this at a county fair. It's a fun time. And you should check it out. And you should also be excited for the next one, because what I'm thinking here, the last Sunday of every month, there's going to be a new episode of Adventures with Ian. We already shot episode 2. I'm not going to tell you much what it is, because it's really fun. It's a funny idea. It's totally different, because every event, there's not like we do the same thing every time. It's an adventure. Anything can be an adventure if you're adventurous enough, right? So it's going to be a fun episode. There's ninja stars involved. That's all I'll say. We got some ninja stars, and that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, actually. Fun times. Shout out to people that helped on the episode. We had a cameraman involved, which is very cool. Just like I envisioned, you know, because you can't have your guests hold the camera like on the first episode. But that was really more just between us. That was really more of just a, how do I say? That was more of a kind of a technical run through to see if I knew what I was doing as far as editing and filming and recording and sound and all this stuff. And it turns out I did well enough that I released it as the first episode. So it's a true triumph to sticking to your guns and working hard, folks, you know? Just getting there and like, I suck at working for other people, but man, if I do it for me, I'll do it so goddamn good, you know? So that's why I'm sitting here in this goddamn fucking basement with a sign I made out of cardboard myself. Yep, just me out here, folks, but I appreciate you listening. I wish we do some live radio or something. We'll have some people call in or something. I want to do some prank calls to these phishing scammers, because they're like they get really combative with you very quickly, and they won't just hang up on the phone. Like, you'll hang up on them, and they'll call you back to talk more shit, and it's just primo stuff. If you have like some downtime at the office or whatever, I suggest you kind of go through your junk mail. You find some sort of email that says like you just spent $400 at like on a cybersecurity McAfee shit or like a Geek Squad, something like this. There'll be a phone number at the bottom of that spam email. You call that number and you just start fucking with the guy. It's a good time. They'll fuck with you right back. You're like, little bitch boy. You think you can track me, little bitch buddy boy? And you're like, fuck you, you fucking scam artist or whatever. And then you hang up, and then they'll call you back for some more. And man, it makes me laugh. I do it, but I think it's stupid to just reach in my phone and search for an email right now. I didn't come prepared. I meant to write them down, screenshot and write down some stuff. But, everybody was also lagged. Everybody's lagging out today. They're lagging out, So it's just, I guess we're just going to run it back, sensitive teeth style. I got some new toothpaste today. It's not my favorite. I like to go with the black toothpaste, the blackening toothpaste. It's got like charcoal in it, and there's no fluoride, and it'll make your teeth gold. That's an old joke. That's an old joke from another episode. But anyway, it's kind of funny. But I got some new toothpaste. It's Listerine. The packaging was black. I thought, all right, Listerine. Maybe they're doing a black toothpaste now because they're really it's becoming popular. Nope. Just a cool black label with some jelly green bullshit on the inside. But I do like the flavor better. It's more antiseptic, if you know what I mean, and less carbon neutral or whatever the fuck charcoal is supposed to taste like with mint. But that's cool. I got some deodorant, which it's not my favorite. I was in a tiny little store, right? Got some Axe body spray. I think it's like Coco Chanel banana cream tobacco mix or something like this, or like diesel engine sex sweat or something like this. I don't know, but it's not really for me. It's for you because I don't want to smell too weird, But no, that's just what it is. It's utilitarian, right? I do not care. It's more just you have it in the car in case you got to go on a high-speed chase out of state and then hide under a freight train for 3 days and then come back and just be like, yeah, I was doing a movie or whatever, I was doing a movie. But that's old stuff. That's just nonsense now. We're just talking nonsense. It's sensitive teeth, man. It's sensitive tooth. It's kind of sad. Everybody's all hungover and shit, and everybody's cozy in their beds because it's dark at 4:30, and here I am on a Sunday afternoon just chilling with you guys. I couldn't be more happy about it, actually. It's actually liberating. I don't need to, tell somebody to hold the mic in the right place, I don't need to fucking tell them they can't say that word constantly, 1 or 2 times, okay, but you're going to do it, the whole episode? You know what I mean? And then it's I got to bleep it out all the time, and it's what are we doing here? This is complete control over the situation, except for that fucking... Is that a possum? What is that? No, I'm just kidding, folks. I'm just kidding. Getting my acting chops up. I've got to go be in a movie on tomorrow. Oh, shout out to New York City for holding it down. Apparently it's still there. People haven't rioted and things, so that's pretty cool. I'm actually taking the train in tomorrow, which I prefer to drive. I do. I like driving. I I don't mind the traffic. I'm fucking in and out. But I decided I'm not in a rush, right? Going down there a day early, not in a rush. So I'm going to take the train in. I'm looking, hopefully, to see some good freaks or something, and maybe get a hot dog. I've been heavy on the dogs recently, though. Maybe I won't get a hot dog. Maybe I'll go to Vanessa's Dumpling House. You ever been there? 14th Street, and I believe there's one on the Bedford over there in Williamsburg too. Oh man, Vanessa's Dumpling House. That is just a fun time. You just go in there. They're just serving up dumplings all day, any kind you want, fried, boiled. I get the fried ones because it's quicker, And usually, when you're going to Nessa's, it's just you're just trying to get a little snack, a little street snack, Maybe get some pizza. I hear they have good pizza down there. I wouldn't know because I'm a Connecticut pizza snob. We have the best pizza according to some fucking... I don't know. Somebody wrote that, and everybody's like, "It's true." So I guess that's how things work these days. Journalism? You mean infotainment? Ooh, we're in a bad space, guys. We're in a funny time. We're in a funny time. Hey, man, he got the popular vote. He got the popular vote. I can't complain because my whole thing is just I was always the electoral college, right? A Republican candidate hasn't won a popular vote, but they've won office because of the electoral college bullshit. I think it's bullshit, but this time I can't say that it is because he got the popular vote and subsequently got the electoral college. But sometimes it's they don't go the same way, and it's that's bullshit. More people voted for one guy than the other guy. How is the other guy into office? But this time, he got all the votes. So congratulations, America. We're cooked. We're cooked, man. As one that's been outside of the country for an extended period of time, right? And I've mingled amongst people from around the world, and I'm friends with them, and these people are dear to me. Shout out Rodrigo and the Mushroom family. Shout out John and shout out Vratti and Rodrigo and Alberto and fucking Arturo and of course the lovely ladies that we all know and keep us going. throughout the world there. Pierre, and I'm going to forget somebody, and I feel so... Big Naz, Big Naz, who's got a little Naz now. That's great. Sandra from Uganda. I mean, I just know, like, I got good friends from very different places, right? And they're all kind of, like, sane. And, like, America, we're just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we're fucking it up. You're fucking it up, man. It's like, yeah, it looks like we're fucking it up. I don't know. It's just not good. It's just not good. It had to crumble sometime, though. You know what I mean? Like NATO, he wants to back out of NATO. If he backs out of NATO, there's no more NATO, which means, like, all these little wimpy European countries that have been relying of just, like, their big brother backing them up won't have that big brother anymore. And who knows, man? Go for some crazy shit. So buy a shotgun, because you're going to have to be shooting down drones. I think the shotgun's a good way to go. Get a lot of bang for your buck. You can shoot drones out of the sky easier than, like, a rifle. So get a shotgun, maybe get some gas masks or something like this. Get some water. Get some MREs, and wrap it all up in Palestinian flags and send it over there, man. These people need help. Shit. Shout out Amsterdam for kicking a bunch of racist dudes' asses. Apparently, I don't know if you're watching the news, but 2-3 days ago, I mean, when is this? This is going to come out in like a week or so whatever. But anyway, check the news. A bunch of IDF football fans, like a bunch of Israeli citizens, right, like went to Amsterdam for a football match against the Dutch team, the Ajax Amsterdam team, versus like the Israeli team or whatever, and like a bunch of asshole Israeli guys were just like running up and down Amsterdam in the center, like ripping off Palestinian flags from houses and like fucking with people and shit. And then they attacked a taxi cab driver, and all the taxi cab drivers there are Muslims, so all the taxi cab drivers like showed up, and like there was a big brawl, and there was like cops on horses and fires and riots and shit and like clashing. And I say, don't come to Amsterdam with that shit, Amsterdam is a place where everybody is tolerated. I won't say they're accepted. Everybody's tolerated there, right? Like, you can't be allowed to be hating on anybody except for the Dutch, because we all know what you did with your fucking toilets and your fucking cheese sandwiches. Ugh. Anyway, you don't come to Amsterdam and fuck with Amsterdam, right? So they got a bunch of these guys got their asses kicked. And rightfully so. And then, and now, like, if you check the news stories, it's radically different. If you check Al Jazeera, it's like, yeah, the Dutch officials are saying that it was instigated by the fucking Israeli football fans. They were the ones coming over and, like, starting shit. And they got their asses kicked. And then, every other kind of, the opposite side of saying, a bunch of Jewish guys got their asses, got beat up, got targeted in Amsterdam. They were just walking around doing nothing, minding their business. So it's just like, what the fuck, man? Hear the train? That's time for just a tiny break. And we're back here, folks, with sensitive tooth. Just a lonely front tooth. Sitting here with a gap. With a nice 1950s, hey, mister, fucking right in the middle of your face gap, But hey, I was thinking there on the piss break there by myself. I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to put my website, my art website, up on the screen here. I'm not sure why. I've always kind of tried to keep these two things separate, and also I kind of walked away from the whole art world because they just, it's just like, I'm just not cut. I'm not like a snobby queef, I'm like a fun time dude, Still smart. My art's still good, I would think. So I'm going to put that down there. You guys need to take a look if you want, see if I'm full of shit or not. But, I have a degree in it and shit, I went to an art academy, a fancy one, and, I rocked it, I've done some stuff, but just wasn't sustainable, right? Because my art, as a sculptor, right, I figured, like, I kind of found my way to sculpture because it's just more real than painting. It's more of an experience. There's weight, there's like three-dimensional space. You're walking around it. There's all these materials. You're not depicting anything. You're making something, right? It's not like a picture of a pipe. It's a pipe. You know what I mean? And so sculpture's the way to go. And then, of course, when you go back to that thing I was saying about skateboarding and graffiti, where you kind of want to compete, it's like a lot of inspiration for my sculpture came from that, like, look at these giant fucking things that people built. Like, I want to do that. I can do that. I want to be a contender, right? I want to kind of have an answer to that or a response to it, or just to kind of play the game that we're just very much in a physical way, right? And I just couldn't sustain it because you need space, you need materials, you need metal, you need tools, big beefy tools to cut those heavy materials, and you need a truck, and then you need rich billionaires to buy that shit to sustain it. But they don't like it because it's proletariat art, and they don't want to be reminded of the droves, the masses of people that they sort of, I don't know, take advantage of or rip off or whatever to become billionaires, right? They don't want to be reminded of that. They want shiny shit to put in the fucking, to make the shiny shit shinier, you know? Like, ugh. I think I mentioned it before, but I knew the art world was done when this Japanese collector bought a Basquiat painting for $110 million, a new record for the artist. And then next month on Artform magazine, which should be about art, there's a picture of the collector. Just the guy with the money. Like that had something to do with art. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's just... The thing is, when they have their shit together, art becomes important because it's like they still want to keep evolving, but they've kind of got everything figured out, right? Like in the 50s, there was a huge boom in art just as a general like necessity of the middle class, of everybody, because society more or less had their shit taken care of. I know it's like a lot of, like, it didn't all, you know, it was just, there's a bubble of like what I'm talking about there. I'm not saying it was a perfect society by any means, jeez. But you know what I'm saying. And then it's like when society starts fucking falling apart, the first thing to go is like art, right? They defund the art programs in schools because they don't think it's important. But really, it's so important because you're doing math, you're doing so many things when you're making art, and it's real world, right? Like you learn by doing, and you can do anything in the name of art, which is pretty cool, right? Like you can make a sandwich in the name of art and present maybe a video piece or performance piece or maybe an actual sandwich as art. I'm not saying it's good or bad, right? But I'm saying anything can kind of be put under that big special pyramid, right? With art at the top and just the reigning creativity, you know, sort of things. Everything's under that, music and theater and filmmaking and painting, you know, whatever, writing, you know, talking shit. I don't know. I'm gonna take a sip of my beer now. That's for the audio listeners there. Make sure you know I'm relaxing, all cool, sitting out under a dilapidated school. Just hanging out, man. Oh, of course, shout out to Yeah Dude Studios for letting me come in here and jerk off my brain for a couple of minutes to you guys here. Shout out Yeah Dude Studios and the Mr. Kevin Doty behind it, who's running a hell of an operation, I gotta say. And, yeah. Just chilling, man. I don't know. Just hanging out, rambling about stuff. They made a new Porsche, right? The new Porsche 911, pretty fucking sweet. It's like hybrid, though, and it's like awesome. It's like 550 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, 33 miles to the gallon. It's fucking amazing, but like on the side, it says hybrid on it. It's just like, can we just get that off of there? You know? Can we just take that off? Couldn't just say Porsche or something? It's got to say hybrid? I don't know. But it looks cool. It looks cool. It's a car that costs as much as a house, so, you know, I can't wait to have a house with a regular car, maybe. If you subscribe, you got to subscribe, man. I hear that's how it works, man. Enough of you guys subscribe. I can fucking just keep doing this. So leave those hate comments below. I know it's maybe kind of a slow show today. So leave those comments because everything helps. The algorithm, man. Slaves to the algo. I don't really much give a shit about that anyway. This is more for me. This is just happy time fun hour for me, your host, Ian. Follow me on Instagram at Let Me See Them Butt Cheeks. I was talking to a girl the other day, and of course I started the conversation with Let Me See Them Butt Cheeks, and she laughed, she giggled, and then the ice was broken, and I'm in, right? And I think it got to like, yo, what's your Instagram? I'm like, Let Me See Them Butt Cheeks. And he's like, oh, you already said that. I was like, no, that's my Instagram. And she's like, what? And people were laughing, and I was like trying to tell the story, like, yeah, no, the Instagram name came second. That only came because I was saying that shit to girls for years, and like for me it works. I'm not saying going out there and say that to people. Don't do that, actually. This is actually do not do that. But if you got the riz, and you know how to say exactly the right time, you might just see some butt cheeks, man. So, all this and more in my online class. Hey, do you want to drive a Lamborghini? Do you want to have a mansion made out of solid gold? Well, you got to buy my class, man. Buy my class. And I'll tell you how to get rich, but only if you pay me $300 for like a couple of MP4 videos, you know? Damn, those guys, it's working for some people though, but man, you got to be a scumbag, right? You got to be a scumbag to kind of be in sales, I think, right? somebody was telling me the other day, oh, you'd be a good salesman, man. She's like, well, no, I can't, because it's like, if you're selling something, if you're a salesman, I think you're basically selling something that people don't need, so you got to like convince them to buy it, right? Because like, everybody needs couches. I don't see couch guys going around calling up, hey, you need couch? Like, everybody needs a couch. They're going to get a couch. You know what I mean? Couches sell themselves, right? But then you think about something else, like, I don't know, a blowjob machine or something like this. Yeah, you got to be, you're cold calling Chinese factories, trying to get the retooling under $150,000, and then you're calling sex shops all up and down the West Coast. We got these blowjob machines, and they're like, well, you don't want those ones. Those are from China. This is a, locals only, farm-to-table sex store sort of thing, because it's California. And then now you're cold calling people in the Midwest, but they don't like blowjob machines or sex or anything. They like just having babies, but no fun. So that's a weird thing. Because people, Mexicans have babies too, and they have fun. So it's like, why does the Americans got to be like anti-choice, make abortions illegal, and then also like, you're just sucking out the fun, man. They're sucking all the fun out. Grinding off the edges, man. There's fluoride in the water, folks, and it's turning the frogs. I don't know if they're necessarily gay or not, but I saw a couple of frogs walking by today that they were wearing all this crazy gear, and I was like, those look like a couple of gay frogs, but you couldn't tell for sure. They don't speak English, because there's too many of these fucking gay frogs sneaking over the border. I'm glad Big T's back, right? Because, like, he's going to shut down, like, back to Tony Hinchcliffe, so, like, Tony Hinchcliffe, he goes to the MAGA rally, right? He says all this crazy shit. Everybody back there is like, oh, immediately the left is like, he's a plant from Kamala Harris to like make us look bad and whatever, which is hilarious that they just instantly go like, well, we're always good. We can't have if it's a bad guy, if he says bad, that's not us. That's gotta be them. And then every time I think about Tony Hinchcliffe, I fucking like lose it. I like lose my train of thought. I finished the thought I had earlier in the beginning of the show, and now I've lost that one. So I guess it's just talking shit for another 20 minutes, and then we'll finish the show with me finishing that thought about Tony Hinchcliffe. Yep. Total loss. Something about gay guys, right? That rings. I mean, he's known for being like the gayest straight man or the straightest gay man or something like this, but he's so little. We love Tony. Somebody's going to kill Tony, though. Not anymore. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. The border, right? So there's this backlash from Kill Tony doing the MAGA thing, right? And then Trump was like, I don't know that guy. He just like snuck in here. I don't know this guy. It's like, wait a second. Now you're all about like having secure borders, and you're gonna let a dude just like sneak into your rally and get stage time? Like that doesn't. See, he just doesn't. He says one thing and then the other thing is like true. So it's like, what's going on here? And I don't want to divide the audience, right?
This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass.
But all I'm saying is, you can't trust rich people's kids. You just can't do it. He doesn't know what a box of cereal even costs, right? They're just out there looking at shiny things, right? Went heavy on the hot dogs this week. I went to a hot dog restaurant. It's a little foreshadowing there if you're a fan of the channel, you know what I mean? Some people are a bit more adventurous than others, if you know what I mean. And then at lunch the other day, my boss was this guy I work for from time to time. I wouldn't call him my boss, but like a nice guy, and I help him out. He helps me out, exchange goods and services. He bought me a hot dog, and I ate that one. And then last night I had 2 hot dogs just chilling out at my friend's house. So we're up to like 6-7 hot dogs and in just a week. So at least it's not as bad as Timmy. Shout out Whitest Kids, that's great. We'll put that link. We'll put a link to that sketch or just Google it. It's a fun thing. If this was a real show, we'd be able to like maybe show it to you in real time and we could like laugh. But it's just me out here, so I know what it looks like. It's not like I can show this guy, But as always, please try to like and subscribe. I'm losing it here, folks. I'll get another sip of this Busch Light limited edition can. That's pretty cool. Our priorities are so weird. I need a limited edition beer can. There's people pitching this like, yo, we're going to sell the same shitty beer. Same shitty beers. Wait, we're not going to change the beer. No, same exact shitty beer. Slightly change the can. Whoa, why? I don't know. People are stupid. They'll buy more of it because they think like maybe it will increase in value. But what's inside? It's just the same shitty beer. Oh, okay. And, well, I'm drinking it. I'm not going to like keep the can though. And then like, watch, it's going to be Bitcoin. in 6 years from now when the society is like fully collapsed, like aluminum cans, especially these ones are going to be worth like fucking, you know, a goat or something to survive the winter for. And I'll be like, damn, I should have kept all those limited edition Busch Light beer cans. I'm an idiot, you know? Like that guy who bought a pizza for like 33 Bitcoins back in the day, and he thought he was like making a steal. He's like, dude, I fucking used fake money to buy a pizza. I'm killing it. And then he would have been like worth $100 million today if he just didn't have that fucking pizza. Ugh, that probably stings. That would sting, right? So I got 4.5 million Shiba Inu coins, bitches. Maybe even over 500,000 now because I buy a little bit when it's cheap, you know? And it's like, maybe one day it'll be worth like a couple of $1,000, but that's... mathematically, they say that's impossible because of how all this like bullshit works. I don't understand it. But I think it's just funny to have 4.5 million Shiba Inu coins. So I bet you that's 4.5 million more than a lot of you people out there right now. Get on it. Get on some Shiba Inu, man. Pump and dump scams. Pump and dump, dude. Oh, you can't tell them that's pump and dump when you do it? Well, nobody watches this show. It's impossible. You can't pin that on me. Fucking FDA. Or whatever would do it, the IRS, or the money people, SEC. That sounds about right. Shout out to always Dave. I just saw that little twinkle in the camera. And he knows, I know he's watching me, but he's been good. He's been cool. I'm not leaving the country till after the war. I'm going to stay for this one. I'm going to fight in the streets. I'm going to get like some cool fucking battle militia guerrilla nickname like the White Mamba or something like this, you know. Have like a cool like battle mullet hairdo. Like a hockey mask and like a fucking, like an old shotgun with like a leather strap made out of with a guitar strap that says Fender on it. And I'll have like a cowboy hat, and I'll have like a pickup truck with like horns on the front and like welded metal like sheet over the window, you know, like fucking, so they can't break in there when you're fighting the zombies or the redcoats or whatever the fuck it's gonna be. Jeez, it might be the Chinese, man. They might try to pull something like that. That's crazy. Imagine that. Just like wave after wave of Chinese soldiers showing up on the shores of California. And there's like every redneck in America going like, finally. And just like 300 million fat retards with guns just start going to California. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Wild times. I don't think they would do a land invasion from the east, so we'd be good for a little while. My plan, I'm going to run up to Canada, try to get to one of these little like islands off the eastern coast of Canada, right? Newfoundland or whatever. Because the weather's getting warmer, right? It's going to be more climate. It's going to be like a little bit nicer up there. And it's rocky terrain, you know, defensible. And you could probably do some goat farming again, or maybe some, I don't know, peach trees or some shit. I don't know, you just eat goat meat and peaches and fight the Chinese. Yeah, a lot of my friends have kids, man. And there's kids who are just going to school, and who knows what they're teaching in the schools these days. But I remember I went to public education, you know, public school. And I remember just being like, just having a feeling like my teachers weren't exactly there for my benefit. You know what I mean? Just kind of, they're going through the motions, and you're just like, oh, this is my years to get educated. And they're just like, move along, Timmy. Make sure you put the right hole in the right box or whatever. And so the kids today, who knows, man? But I'm assuming they're learning how to like read and do math, but are they even going to need that where we're going, right? In 10 years, are we going to need math, or are we going to need, should you be teaching your kids real things like how to like, you know, like how to like hook up a tattoo to an old car battery, like a tattoo gun to an old car battery, how to sharpen hockey sticks so you can stab your neighbor with them for his water supply, you know? Stuff like that, how to take a bunch of little firecrackers and make a big firecracker with them, you know? That might be the way of the future. How to make your own shotgun shells, put like all sorts of different things in there. Oh, it's bleak. It's bleak, but, you know, I think it really is coming down to that pineal gland, man. If you know, you know. Quantum physics, quantum mechanics kind of states that, like, reality gets sucked into reality. Like, matter gets sucked into its form, like, with the conscious mind, like being conscious. It's just, that's all connected in some weird, intertangled, whatever the fuck way. So I really believe that, like, you do have thoughts and like with frequencies, you know, measurable, electromagnetic, whatever frequencies, and positive thoughts are known to be much more powerful than negative thoughts, and you can affect the way water freezes on a molecular level with just your thoughts, and so there's something there just about same old shit, like, be positive, you know? It looks bleak, but, like, don't let it consume you. Don't Instead, it's like this: don't be anti-war, be pro-peace. Because when you're saying anti-war, you're still saying the word war. Even if it's anti, you're still bringing up war every time. Anti-war, well, we're talking about be pro-peace. It's the same thing, but you're saying peace. You're saying pro-peace. You're saying peace a lot more. You're putting that frequency out. And I think there's something to that, and I think they know that, and they don't want us to know it, right? So that's why we just got to kind of, it's a battle of the minds, right? Like World War III is already being fought on an economic and fucking psychological level, right? And it's not country versus country. It's like the elite versus the rest, right? And they use these countries as Ponzi's or something. Not Ponzi's, fucking patsies or something like this. You know, like the Queen's not getting in, the Queen of England doesn't get in trouble. It's the Prime Minister because she just has that fucking queef in front of him, even though they're all pulling the shots for 1,000 years, right? Like, this is tough, man. Should I put this out on the radio? We're a little, this is sensitive stuff, I feel like. But if you're watching it, if you're listening to it, it's out there, man. And we'll see if I end up shooting myself in the back 3 times as a suicide. We'll see. I wouldn't do that. This is just going out there right now. Not going to kill myself. So, if it happens, you got to make sure that you, copy this sound clip and put it on Twitter or whatever you kids do. X gonna give it to you. And I'm gonna give it to you too, man. I'm gonna give it to you straight. I'm not so happy with the way I can get one of these pre-made deli sandwiches at the grocery store, and they're big and they're nice and they're fresh, but there's no condiments on it, right? There's no condiments on it. There's because they don't want to because people are queefy about condiments, right? So I buy this big sandwich and there's no mayonnaise on it, and it's like, what the fuck? I got to take it home and I could put a lot of mayonnaise on it. And when I was just thinking I should have just went to a real deli and just had them make me a sandwich, because it was just it was an annoyance. Biting into that sandwich, realizing it's so dry, so you put a little mayonnaise on there, it's not enough. You got to open it up again, you put a little more mayonnaise, and this time there's always a little mayonnaise in it, so it's like the lettuce is sticking to the top of the bread, and your the nice order is getting out of function there, and it's just, man, that's the kind of stuff that they're not going to kill you over. Sandwich etiquette. And I don't mean to spiler against the Dutch, man, but for someone being so proud of their bread, they don't have a fucking idea what a sandwich is, dude. They have no idea. They might try to make a good sandwich, and they might have an idea, but they'll put it on a bread that's harder than a brick. So it's so hard that when you bite into the sandwich, the whole sandwich shoots out at the back of the bread like a fucking wet piece of soap. And now your sandwich is all over your date's face, and you're just holding 2 hard, crusty pieces of the bread, and the roof of your mouth is bleeding. That ain't a sandwich, bro. That ain't a sandwich. And also, just one little tiny piece of bread with the butter on it and a piece of cheese so thin that you can see through it. That ain't a sandwich, brother. Okay? Just let the Italians deal with the sandwiches, okay? Honestly, and maybe I'm a little biased, let the Italian Americans deal with the sandwiches, because I think Italian delis in America are way better than the shit I got in Europe. No offense, man, but we know what sandwiches is all about, dude. Big, beefy sandwiches. Meatball, saucy, slopping fucking sandwiches, melted cheese, all that good stuff. I'm going to eat a sandwich right now. You know what I usually go to, though? My go-to order at a deli? I get roast beef and American cheese, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, salt and pepper, oil and vinegar. And that's it. On a hero. I get that. Cold, I like being able to eat a little bit now, eat a little bit later. Funny story, sometimes if I'm not feeling like that and I get another sandwich, I'll get a hard roll with turkey, provolone, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise. I don't get that on a hard roll. And one time I had a sandwich like that. I was living in New York City back then. I was on the Lower East Side, right by Chinatown almost. I was at the skate park called the LES skate park under the Manhattan Bridge there, and I'm skating around, and I'm like, ooh, I'm hungry. So I go down to the street a couple blocks away. There's a bodega. I get myself that turkey jam off I just told you about, right? I get the little turkey hard roll jam off there. And I take it, I get a Snapple, I think, because I like the Snapple in the glass bottle. And you can't really find them anymore. It's all plastic bottles. So it was a fruit punch Snapple in a glass bottle. My favorite Snapple. I got my turkey sandwich, got in a little plastic bag, right? I go back to the skate park. I eat half my sandwich. I put the other half in a little white plastic bag with my soda or my Snapple there. And I'm skating around. It's a big skate park. So I'm on the other end of the side of the skate park. And I see a dude sitting by my fucking sandwich bag, dude. And he's creeping on it. He's creeping in on it. And I'm like, this motherfucker's going to steal my sandwich. Because it's New York City. They will steal your sandwich. They will steal your foot if you don't have it attached, right? So I rush over there, and I go and I grab my sandwich bag, because it was right next to his hand, and the guy looks up at me, and it's fucking Lizard King, who's a famous, fucking awesome, famous skateboarder. I'm like, oh shit, Lizard King. He wasn't trying to steal my sandwich. He was just chilling. But what a funny thing that it's not a hobo guy. It's the fucking Lizard King. And then I look around the skate park as I eat the rest of my sandwich, and the whole Baker team's there. We got Andrew Reynolds was there. Fucking T-Funk, before he was T-Funk was there. He was just a little kid, like, ripping on everything, just, like, ripping. The other guys are all tired from a demo they did in Brooklyn earlier. And then Dustin Dolan was there, and just his classic Dustin Dolan style, he was passed out drunk on a fucking bench, like, in the sun. No skateboard in sight. I'm like, that's so funny. Because that's exactly what you would expect from Dustin Dolan. This is skateboard talk. This is skateboard talk time on Sensitive Teeth. But hey, skateboarding was my first love, man. Teaches you a lot. Teach you how to get up. Teach you how to fall. Teach you how to get up. More importantly, got to know how to take a fall too. You don't just fall flat on your face. You got to learn how to not do that, right? You got to learn how to fall, and then if you learn how to fall good enough, you can get back up even stronger every time. You know what I mean? Skateboarding. It's a sexy game of math and wit and skill and physical prowess. Yeah, we're having a fun time here on Sensitive Teeth. It's just me out here, your host, Ian Carr. As you can see here to my right, there is no guest today if you're just tuning in. I don't know why you just watch a podcast and only skip to the last 10 minutes, but if you are doing that, no guest today on account of a massive party, massive birthday celebration. Shout out Will Height and Victoria Lang for throwing such an insane party. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Maybe I was in disguise and you guys didn't even notice, huh? Check the footy. Anyway, I think everybody and their mother is on this side of the eastern seaboard is hungover right now, except for me, and that's why this chair to my right is empty. But in later news, Amy Goodman, Democracy Now!, NPR. It's a news report, kind of a good one. Definitely blue leaning, but a news report nonetheless. And they were talking. That's how much trouble Tony Hinchcliffe was in for that week until Trump won. Because thank God he won, or else Tony Hinchcliffe, they would kill him. They'd say it was his fault, and they'd kill him. They'd kill Tony. But he's alive. He's alive and well. And every time I talk about fucking kill Tony, I just get lost. Maybe it's his gay-looking little face. I just picture his little fucking tranquillism dummy face, those beady little eyes and that sharp teeth. I just got all freaked out. I love him though. Makes me funny. He's like a mean dude. I get it, man. I get it. When you get picked on, you got to get mean. You got to be quick, right? You grow up with red hair on the school ground, you got to be quick with it because people want to put it on you. You got to be able to get it off of you and onto them quick. I think Tony had a little bit of that growing up because he's little, So he's got that wit. He's got that sharp tongue. I don't know if he should be saying the N-word like he did in front of 40,000 rabid Trump fans at the Trump rally there in New York City. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, you look up Goebbels there, the Nazi guy in charge of propaganda. Kind of looks like Tony Hinchcliffe. Kind of, it'd be like I could see Tony Hinchcliffe becoming the secretary of propaganda under the Trump cabinet there. Oh yeah, imagine that. Good for you, Tony. Yeah. Well, just rambling around, man. Thanks for joining me again. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the hang, and I wish I had some more enlightening things to talk to you guys about. I like to meditate every day. I actually didn't meditate today. Maybe that's why nobody showed up, I don't think that's why. But I do like to meditate. I try to do 15 minutes every morning. If I'm pressed for time, I'll do 12. But you got to do over 10, because 10 is kind of when you get in there, and then that next 5 minutes from 10 to 15, whew. And, honestly, some days I feel like I could just sit in there all day. I could just meditate for hours. But then, your phone dings or something, or you got to, take a shit, and it ruins it, your dog barks, take a shit, you fucking take a piss, things happen. Shit and piss, man. Shit and piss. That's what it was like voting this year. Shit or piss? I don't know. Shit or piss? Are you sure? Yeah, you got shit or piss, you got cum. There's always that third party candidate, right? The cum, it's a fun idea. Yeah, but that doesn't last, right? That doesn't last. So you got shit, piss, or cum, and then you got puke and blood, which are the really offshore, the really ones you never heard about. So you go puke or shit, piss and blood, and then you're called a split ticket voter, So nobody wants. That doesn't sound good. Oh, he's a split ticket voter. What does that mean? Well, it means he voted Republican for some offices and Democratic for other. Oh, he voted for shit and blood instead of piss and cum? Yeah, I'm afraid so. And that's American politics, folks. And thank you for tuning in, because next week We're doing the same thing. Fuck guests. It's just me out here, baby. I'm going full Tim Dillon with this. We're going to get political. I'm going to start getting fatter and gayer and smoking more. And you're going to love it.
It's not necessary.
That's when sensitive
you can
teeth.
use a few teeth. One tooth, you can do teeth. And you can only do a few teeth because you can only cut so much gum out of the roof of the mouth. The sensitivity's not there. Do a few teeth, 32 teeth. One tooth, you can do teeth. And you can only do 32 teeth.
You are helping people.
It's great.